I made $10 million in just 3 years selling digital products, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. This isn't just another success story. It's about how I went from a household of 11 people on food stamps to buying a G-Wagon in all cash, then a Rolls-Royce in all cash, and how I went from struggling to find my next job and pay my bills to buying a $500,000 investment property in all cash that produces passive income every single month. I literally bought a home outright, no mortgage, no loans, no bank involved. Along this journey of creating real wealth through information products, I learned that this was just the beginning. I learned that while selling information products is extremely profitable, more profitable than I had ever imagined, it's still the lowest level of what's possible with this business. Growing up, I always felt different. I looked different. I thought differently. I was a natural athlete and had exceptional intelligence. I was put into gifted and talented as soon as I started public school. I was in all the advanced classes, and learning came naturally to me, but I still struggled to fit in. My family wasn't wealthy. We didn't have the luxury of eating out, buying new things often, or traveling. What shaped me most was feeling like an outsider. Being Muslim, Black, and Hispanic with a huge family. My dad has 15 kids. My mom has 8 kids. I just processed things differently than the majority of people around me. I had a different work ethic than the kids my age. I knew what I wanted young, and I was okay with working to get it. After high school, I got a full ride to Maryville University through a scholarship, but sitting in class one day doing assignments that I genuinely didn't find purposeful and watching everyone around me partner up while I sat alone, I had a moment of clarity. These classes weren't helping me build the life that I wanted. They weren't made for someone like me. I was working 2 nannying jobs while attending classes full-time, and something had to give. I was exhausted and conflicted, starting to question if spending the next 4 years on a marketing degree was the right path to take. After a couple of weeks of thought, as first semester was approaching its end, I texted my advisor and asked her to unenroll me from all classes next semester and let her know that I was not going to continue. She was shocked, and I could tell that she wanted to help by asking if I was sure, but my mind was already made up. I needed to bet on myself. I didn't need a 4-year degree to tell me that I was worthy of owning a business. I just needed the necessary knowledge and skills. After dropping out, I tried everything to make money, trading stock options. I made a lot. I also lost a lot. Drop shipping. I learned a lot of valuable skills like how to set up a Shopify store, how to run ads, how to find winning products. Still, since I was just starting, I was only making enough to cover my ad spend. Self-taught cosmetology. This is a skill that I started learning in high school. And although I made pretty decent income from my apartment bedroom, it still cost me a lot of time, and I realized that servicing myself just wasn't in line with my goals. Then when trying all of these things and trying to figure out what worked best for me, I learned about Airbnb and short-term rentals. I was genuinely nervous to start this business because of the reoccurring costs. The thought of spending thousands per month on rent was extremely nerve-wracking, but I saw that when done correctly, it worked, and I was willing to take the risk. Within the first 6 months, our portfolio was generating $10,000 per month. This was more than any job ever had. As my first year of hosting came to an end, I started sharing on TikTok, showing what some of my properties look like, day in the lives, tips on how others could start, and what my journey looked like. Really quickly, people started noticing my success, and within weeks, I had hundreds of DMs of people asking for help, for more information, and essentially asking me to teach them to get started. That's when everything changed. Realistically, I didn't have enough time in a day to help every single person one-on-one, and that's when I discovered the most profitable business on the planet, digital products. Because this concept is so foreign to most people, I want to clarify what this business has done for me. I bought a G-Wagon and a Rolls-Royce Cullinan in all cash. No financing, no leasing, straight cash. I've purchased an investment property with cash that has generated over $170,000 since purchasing it just a couple years ago at 20 years old. No mortgage, no loans. I literally turned my digital product success into an Airbnb that generates passive income every single month. I've traveled to nearly every continent on the planet, first-class flights, luxury hotels, bucket list experiences. I live a completely financially free life. No stress about bills, no worrying about the future, and no limiting what I can do. And I built all of this in just 3 years with digital products. Now, let me show you exactly how I did it. The journey to 10 million started with a simple weekly masterclass teaching people about Airbnb and short-term rentals. When they registered for the masterclass, they were offered a preparatory bundle for $27. These materials allowed them to come to class prepared and got them in the right mindset. If they hesitated, we then offered it again at $17 to give them another chance to purchase. At the end of our masterclass, after teaching for 1 to 2 hours for free, we offered our core program at $1,497. This was the complete system taught in video modules, everything they needed to be successful with Airbnb. This simple model allowed us to generate our first few $1 million. No fancy funnel, no complex marketing, just real value delivered in a straightforward way. As we grew, we noticed something critical. Most people who purchase information struggle with implementation. That's when we added an upsell, offering another version of the program for $3,500 that included a done-for-you service component. This hybrid model worked incredibly well. Our core info product at $1,497 was still accessible to our most serious students, but our $3,500 product catered to those who wanted additional support. We saw that by offering a done-for-you service component, it gave our students a higher success rate. Over time, we experimented with different price points and different done-for-you components, our prices being $5,000, $10,000, and even $20,000. While information products are still the most profitable, I discovered something even more powerful. I didn't stop at just selling information. I created back-end products that were implementation-based. This allowed our same customers to purchase again and give themselves an even higher success rate. This was a game changer. Instead of constantly chasing new customers, I built products that my existing customers wanted and needed. The products and services that we offered were all services that our current customers asked for help with at some point in their journey. I'll break down exactly how in another video because it deserves its own walkthrough, but what's truly powerful about this business is I didn't just make money. I created a system that allowed me to build real assets and businesses with multiple streams of income from the same customers. The majority of income from this business we reinvested back into the company, but I took some of the profits and purchased an investment home in Arizona in all cash, and now I have a physical asset that is generating me income every single month. Let me put this into perspective. A doctor might make $300,000 a year after 12 plus years of schooling and hundreds of thousands in student debt. With this model, I made over $3 million in 6 months with no degree, no special connections, and working fewer hours than most 9-to-5 employees. Then I turned that money into assets that continue to pay me. Most people in the digital product space start with one critical mistake. They start with cheap offers hoping to upsell later. This ascension model rarely works for new entrepreneurs because you need massive volume to make any real money. Instead, I discovered that starting with a premium offer like ours, $1,497, makes far more sense. You need fewer customers to reach profitability, and the customers that you have are more serious about implementing because they spent more money. With more money in, they're more likely to follow through, which is exactly what you want. Students who see success. Think about it. At $27, you need 1,111 sales to make $30,000 a month. At $1,497, you only need 20 sales to make that same exact amount. Which one seems easier to you? What I learned from building my business can be broken down into a few key principles. First, create a compelling offer that genuinely solves a problem that people are willing to pay for. Our Airbnb program worked because it provided a clear path to generating significant passive income, something many people desperately want. Second, use a simple funnel to convert interest into sales. Our weekly masterclass model consistently brought in new customers without complex marketing. Third, focus on customers who are already aware of the problem and are actively looking for a solution. We aim to attract an audience of people who already understood the potential of Airbnb but needed a proven system to succeed. Fourth, design your offers with implementation in mind. The more easily people can apply what they learned, the more success stories you'll generate, and nothing sells like success stories. Fifth, and this is where most people miss out, don't stop at selling information. Create implementation-focused products that your existing customers want and need. The back end is where the real magic happens. Social media makes a lot of things look easy. We highlight the best parts, right? Well, this journey did not come without challenges. I lost money on failed ventures before finding success. I battled PTSD and anxiety after losing my brother, still the hardest thing I've ever faced to this day. I struggled balancing personal relationships and work. I felt an immense amount of weight by hiring so many family members and friends so young. Hiring and firing definitely wasn't easy. And there were many lonely times while building this success. As you choose to make different choices from the majority, you become unrelatable. You become different. But as I look at the income that my investment property makes that I own outright, when I don't have to stress over payments for my house or my car, when I see the opportunities that I've created for my family and my friends, when I see all the people I've had the ability to help, and when I look at the international trips on my calendar, before, I know that every struggle was worth it. Today, my business model has completely evolved. After seeing the implementation challenges that most people face, we've completely transitioned to a full service-based business with all of our education being free. We only get paid when we perform an actual service for someone. Our community has grown to over 30,000 members, and we are focused on delivering exceptional service. While our margins are lower due to staffing and management costs, this model ensures that our clients see real success. For anyone looking to create their own digital products, here's what I've learned. Start with group coaching rather than one-on-one services or pure information products. It gives you the perfect balance of scalability and implementation support. Create a simple entry point like our $27 bundle that prepares people for your core offer. Price your core offer high enough that way you only need a small number of sales to be profitable. Our $1,497 program meant we needed far fewer customers than, say, if we charged $197. Don't just sell information, sell implementation. Create additional products that help your customers actually apply what they've learned. Think beyond your first sale. The real profit comes from the back-end products that solve your customers' ongoing needs. Information products are incredibly profitable with their amazing margins, but they're just the beginning of what is possible with this business model. This is how normal people are building extraordinary lives. This is how coaches, consultants, and course creators are buying luxury cars without financing. This is how they're purchasing investment properties in cash that are generating them income every month. And this is how they're traveling the world without checking their bank accounts. Each day that you're intentional, little by little, even when you can't see it, you are building the life that you want. But you have to know what you want to be intentional behind it every day. My journey to 10 million started by understanding the value of my knowledge and packaging it in a way that people could easily consume and implement. Your expertise is valuable, more valuable than you probably realize. That's how I built my digital product empire into something much bigger. Not through some complex funnel or some secret hack, but by creating genuine value, packaging it in a straightforward way, and helping people transform their lives. If you are ready to turn your knowledge or your skill into a product that actually sells and creates lasting wealth, then drop a comment below and I'll make a video answering the most common ones. I am also starting a mentorship where I will personally teach you for the next 8 weeks. So if you are interested in joining the waitlist, the link is down below. Bye guys.